Hello, dear learners. Welcome to physical education class. So today we are going to learn about the main features of modern Olympic Games, right? So one by one, we are going to see what are the main features of modern Olympic Games, right? So as you all know that we had already a good talk about the ancient Olympics, and then we had a good talk about modern Olympics too. So when we talk about, father of modern Olympic Games is Baron Pierre de Coubertin. And when we talk about the ancient Olympic Games, so it was started in the honor of God Zeus. And children's about ancient Olympic Games. It was a 5-day program, which is in a precise order. So there were animal games on the first day. The priest performed the rituals, and there are so many activities done like wrestling and puglies, and so many things are there. Closing ceremony is there, and on that time, children's uh, crown is given, which is made up of the olive leaves, right? So today we are going to learn about the main features of Olympic Games, how the gradual changes are there, right? So what are the gradual changes are there in Olympics, and how these things will come up with such a beautiful nowadays Olympics, right? So when we talk about 1860, that is 1896. So in 1896, children's, the Olympic was announced in Athens, that is the country Greece. Athens is a city in a Greece, and on that time only 13 countries participated in it, and 9 activities were there. So what is about this main feature? So only men athletics, swimming, gymnastic, wrestling, and horse riding is there on that time. If we talk about 1900, so every after 4 years, modern Olympics is there. So in 1900, Paris, our modern Olympics was there in Paris, France, and on that time, 22 countries participated. Out of it, 17 activities were there, and it is the time when the motto of Olympic was announced. Women participation is allowed. Proper sports kit. It will be in the third modern Olympic, right? So what is Olympic motto? Olympic motto means CTS, LTS, Fortius. Olympic motto is CTS, LTS, Fortius, right? And in 1900 Paris, that is a France modern Olympics, women's participation is allowed. If we talk about after the 4 year of this 1904, which is in St. Louis, USA, and at that time 40 countries participated, children's, and there were 4 activities. So in this, proper kit is compulsory for all the players. If we talk about 1908, which is in London, England, so on that time 22 countries participated, and there is 21 activities. And this time, children's, racial discrimination was seen. Racial discrimination, it means, you must have learned about Nelson Mandela. So he fought against the apartheid. There was a problem. There was a thing, apartheid there, right? So apartheid is a problem, which is what? It is a difference of rang bhed, we can say, right? So color bhed jo hota tha, rang kale gore ka jo bhed hota, it is called a racial discrimination. So which was seen in 1908. If we talk about 1912, so it was in Sweden. On that time, 28 countries were participated, and there were only 4 activities. Women took part in swimming from that time. So on that time, swimming was started, and women are swimming. If we talk about 1916, so it was in Berlin, that is Germany, and not held this thing because of the World War, right? So not held this Olympic due to World War First. If we talk about 1920 Antwerp, Belgium, right? So there were 29 countries participated, 22 activities were there, and at that time Olympic flag was raised. So basically this Olympic flag is made by our Baron Pierre de Coubertin. It was designed in was first time flown in Antwerp, Belgium. The year was 1920. So these are the very important MCQ questions. You must remember all these things because these lead MCQ questions for you, right? This is the most important part where MCQs will be there. So Antwerp, Belgium. So on that time in 1920, the flag was raised. 1924, Paris, France. So 44 countries participated, 18 activities were there. On that time, first time the march past and the opening show is there. So opening ceremony, the march past, the players perform the march past, salami and everything is given on the first time, very first time. If we talk about 1928, it was about the Amsterdam Olympics, which is in Holland country, and it there on that time 46 countries participated, and 15 activities were there. At this time in 1928, Olympic torch was firstly lighted, and on that time we have a first gold in hockey. India won first gold in hockey, right? So when did the Olympic torch ceremoniously lighten? So it was in 1928, and the country, that is the city, is Amsterdam, and the country is Holland. Los Angeles. So in 1932, Los Angeles, USA, countries participated. 15 activities were there. Olympic village was set up. India won the second gold in hockey. So it was the second time when India won the gold in hockey game. If we talk about the 1936, so in 1936, children, Berlin, Germany, there were 49 countries participated, and out of it there were 20 activities were there, right? And India won hockey gold again. So you can see, children's, there was a great, memorable gala, and there was a great time for hockey on that time. Like nowadays, football and everything is there, no? Cricket is there. So on that time, I think there was a main focus on hockey on that time. So in 1936, Berlin, Germany, India won hockey gold again. In 1940 and in 1944, there is no Olympics, which was scheduled in Tokyo, Japan, and London, England. But just because of World War One and World War Two, this is not happened. So you must remember, in 1940 and 1944. These are the two dates. Just because of World War One and World War Two, these games were not happened just because of World War First and World War Second. 1948, the modern Olympic Games will be in London, England, and there were 59 countries participated. 18 peoples are there, and again there is a racial discrimination, apartheid, or we can say rang bhed, color गारे काले गोरे का भेदभाव. It is seen over there. लोगों के साथ भेदभाव करता हुआ चीजें नजर आई थी, right? Now in 1952, it was in Finland, and there were 69 countries participated, and 17 activities were there. At that time, India flag, Mr. Jadhav got third position in wrestling, first individual medal. So it was our, all right. So just go through this. All right. I think there was some technical issue, so please don't mind that. Okay. So let us move on the next. That is the 1956. So in 1956, it was in Australia, right, children? So in 1956, it was in Australia, and on that time, 71 countries participated, and out of it, there will be 17. There were 17 activities were there, first time in the Southern Hemisphere, right? Now, if we talk about 1960, that is Rome, Italy, as Rome is a city and Italy is a country. So 83 countries participated, and there are 17 activities. And it was the first time, children's, when the television, that is the telecast on TV, the modern Olympic Games were telecasted on TV. And India lose Pakistan in hockey final. So if we talk about 1960, children, these things are very important because it makes your MCQ, and this is really, really to understand these things properly, and these dates and the features, it is very important to know, right? So in 1964 Tokyo Olympics, that is in Japan, there were 93 countries participated, 19 activities were there, and at this time Olympic mascot show, Milkha Singh Mrs. Right? You must know about Milkha Singh. 1968, so Mexico City, it means Mexico, the definitely this country. And on that time there were one thing which is so important, right? Okay, childrens. So on Mexico, 112 countries participated, and there are 18 activities were there. Altitude variation was observed in athlete. So what is this altitude variation? See, children, there is a graph when we talk about the athletes while running. That is, there is a acceleration zone, there is a reaction ability, right? There is some zones are there. So altitude difference is measured. In 1972, that is in West Germany, so 122 countries participated. On that time, there is 18, there is 18 activities were there, and it was a lavish affairs were there, right? It was so lavish, so expensive affairs were observed. In 1976, it was a monotrial that is in Canada. 92 countries participated and 21 activities were there. Africa is boycotted. Drug used was seen by the athletes. What is doping? Doping is the use of the unethical products. So if I talk about doping, so it can be a blood doping, it can be a gene doping. Okay. So drugs doping also. So doping is something which is a use of unfair means, which is totally banned in sports, that is the modern Olympics. So on that time drug was seen by the athletes, taken by the athletes. In 1980, that is Moscow, Russia, and it was the time when 81 countries participated and there were 21 activities were there. USA boycotted, drug was banned for the athletes. So on that time drug is banned by the athlete. Drug is not at all used because it enhanced the power of a person, but definitely lead to a lot of problems, that is the hormonal variations, reactions, and this is not a fair means to win. In 1984, Los Angeles, USA, so 140 countries participated and there is 23 activities were there, and Russia boycotted. Medical tests for the players taken place, right? So in 1988, that is South Korea, and 160 countries participated. There were 23 activities. Ben Jones discarded drugs. Many records were broken on that time. 1992, that is in Spain, and on that time 173 countries participated. On 5 activities were there, and it was a time when India performance was very poor in terms of sports. If we talk about 1996 Atlanta, which is in USA, so there were countries participated is around 197, and there are 27 activities were there. High tech observation by the video cameras were there. Lander pace, gold, bronze in the tennis of India, for India. If we talk about Australia, which is of 2000, right? And on that time 213 countries participated and there were 29 activities were there. It was the greatest show on the earth, right? Maleshwari got bronze in wrestling, many records in swimming, and many new games introduced. In 2004, Athens, Greece, that is 211 countries participated and 31 activities were there. China came with a huge medal. Italy, tally. India's Rajvardhan got silver in shooting. So Rajvardhan Singh Rathore, he got silver in shooting on that time. Right, dear students? So next is 2008. So it was in China, and on that time there were 204 countries participated, and it was a time when 28 activities were there. So what is new in it? So here mega structures were built like bird nest, bubble cube. India won first individual gold by Abhinav Bindra. So Abhinav Bindra of India, he got first gold in individual. Sushil Kumar and Virendra Kumar won bronze medal on that time from India. And America's supremacy was lost as China got lead in medal tally, right? So China, that is 2008 Olympics, it was something which is a mega structure were built on that time, like the bird, the nest, and etc. And if we talk about India on that time, 2008, so India won the first individual gold by Abhinav Bindra and Sushil Kumar, Devendra Kumar. They won, they got bronze medal too. In 2012, London, England, there were again 204 countries participated, but the number of activities were 26. America regained supremacy, 6 medals for India. Vijay Kumar for shooting, Sushil Kumar for wrestling, Saina Nehwal for badminton, Mary Kom for boxing, Yogeshwar Dutt for wrestling, Gagan Singh for shooting. So there are 6 medals, in India on that time. So it was such a proud moment. और अभी मुझे पढ़ते हुए इतनी अच्छे से खुशी हो रही है जब मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. Right. So America regained supremacy on that time, and 6 medals for India. I'll repeat once again. Vijay Kumar for shooting. So again, it will be our MCQ question. Sushil Kumar, wrestling. Saina Nehwal, badminton. Mary Kom, boxing. Yogeshwar Dutt, wrestling. Gagan Narang, shooting. Right. If we talk about 2016, that is the Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and there were 206 countries participated, and about 28 number of activities were there. So rugby and golf, these new sports are included in it. USA topped medal tally, and India largest continent ever, but poor show. PV Sindhu won silver in badminton. Sakshi Malik won bronze in wrestling. Okay. Deepa Karmakar finished 4th in World Final, right? So again, if we talk about 1920s, so it's because of this pandemic, it was not there. But in 1921, there is Ravi Dhaya, okay, and some Chopras, and so many people have done such a great part. Okay, so about we think about various things, that is the main features of modern Olympic. So in this session, we have truly understand what are the main features of modern Olympics. Got it? I hope children you got all this concept, because this is a very, very important concept to go for, and this is very important from 1896, like when we started the female to participate in Olympics, when there is no modern Olympics, which is in 1940, 1940, there is 1944, just because of World War One, World War Two, right? March past, when did the March past were there? So it was in 1924, and 1920 Olympic flag was raised, because in 1913 it is already made by our Baron Pierre de Coubertin, who is the father of modern Olympic Games. Then Rome, Italy. So it was a telecast. So you must know that in 1960, TV telecast of this modern Olympic is taken place, right? About if we talk about Mexico, so altitude variation is seen. Lavish affairs were there in 1972 in W Germany. Okay, so Moscow, Russia, there was USA boycott, right? So drugs, here we get to know, okay, the people are using drugs also. So when they use drugs, so drug is a use of unethical process in, about sports, in arena of sports. And when we talk about this drugs and all, so this is the problem where, that maybe use of drugs, there may be a gene doping, there may be a blood doping, increasing RBCs previously harvested or injected, right? So these are some things which is the very, very important. If we talk about 1992, so Indian performance were very poor on that time, right? So Rajvardhan Singh Rathore, he got silver medal in shooting in 2004. And if we talk about 2008, it was in Brazil, China. And it was a time in 2012 when we got 6 medals. So like Vijay Kumar in shooting, Sushil Kumar in wrestling, Saina Nehwal in badminton, Mary Kom in boxing, right? So Yogeshwar Dutt in wrestling, Gagan Narang in shooting. If we talk about 2016, so it was in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So these things are very, very important to understand. Rugby, golf, and these games were included. And PV Sindhu won silver medal, in badminton. Sakshi Malik won bronze in wrestling, right? Deepa Karmakar finishes world final. So these are some very, very important things about the modern Olympics that we must know. Now you can search about 2021 Olympics. What are the achievements of India? right, children? So this is something which is a very, very important thing you must know. And I hope you understand what are the major features, what are the main features of modern Olympics since the beginning till now. So I hope you all got it. So with this, take care. Lots of love and lots of blessings to all of you. Thank you so much.